Found the rev limiter. We're doing things a little bit different this week because instead of starting over there, tearing a motor down, we're starting here on the dyno. This is a Buick 350, picked it up off Facebook Marketplace. All we know is that it runs.
Yeah, it runs. It runs good.
It runs good. We don't know for sure. We have a little clip that looks like it was filmed on a potato about 15 years ago. It was running in the little 72 Skylark that it came out of. But anyway, long story short, this could be, we don't think all original, just looking over it a little bit. But maybe it's a rattle can rebuild. Maybe it's never really been rebuilt. Maybe it's just had some head gaskets replaced or something.
That's it. And looking this over, really can't tell because it almost looks like the block is all pretty clean and repainted, the heads.
Well, especially after we cleaned it, but that's the story for...
But when we cleaned it, we washed off some of the paint because they had painted over the grease.
Right.
And when we degreased it, it softened it up and the grease came off and so did the paint.
Right. We're going to try to fire this thing up, warm it up, and do a couple pulls and...
see if we have oil pressure.
See if anything about it is any good.
See if it hits on all 8. See how noisy it is.
But the overall plan is we are going to tear this engine down and do all of the machine work on it. And depending on if I find a customer for it or not, maybe we'll put some nice parts in it, or maybe it'll go back together stock. I don't know. Should we see if it'll fire up?
I think we go for it.
Should I pump it or just give it a little? Or
I'll run the choke. A little bit of valve train noise. Oil pressure?
yeah, 70 pounds.
That's because of that pump they put on it.
That's 850, 900.
Actually, probably pretty close to where it should be. A little better than 4 degrees is what the spec is.
Oh, we got an oil leak. Big oil leak.
Oh, that's probably our fault.
What do you want to do?
Shut it off for just a little bit.
Got a leaky oil fitting.
Wow, that's good.
No, we're leaking bad.
Huh?
We're leaking bad.
Okay. Quite a bit of valve train noise. You want to load it down just a little bit?
Yeah, we're up to temperature. What do you think?
Well, I've heard worse.
Smoky. 200 horsepower and 272 pound-feet of torque.
Huh.
Let's do this, and then let's pack up for the night.
Pack up and call it a day.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it might not need anything more than just a little tweaking here, a little bit on the tune-up side.
It's still going up on horsepower. Yeah. We're like 209, 210 at
4,500.
4,500.
It's a little doggy. Now you broke it.
Broke it. Okay.
All right. We'll come back tomorrow, see what happens.
You guys all know the cleaning guy, and if you haven't figured it out from his nickname yet, he likes things to be clean. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that oil spot off the driveway before he even has time to tell me to get my toothbrush. And that goes for everything around the shop. So we've been trying out Release Cleaner, and it's been impressive. Sure, when it comes to parts cleaning, we have access to some expensive industrial solutions, like our bake oven and hot tanks with aggressive chemicals. But Release Cleaner is an associative all-surface cleaner and degreaser that you can use anywhere at home or in the workshop because it's safe for use on a variety of surfaces. Take this Buick 350 for example. When we picked it up on Marketplace, it had a healthy coat of grease and grime on it. So we hit it with some Release, from the chrome valve covers to the painted steel oil pan, let it soak in, and hit it with the pressure washer. I think that we can let the results speak for themselves. What makes it different is it's designed to actually associate with grease, oil, grime, all that nasty buildup, and lift it off the surface instead of just blasting it with harsh chemicals. And the crazy part is, it's still safe to use on pretty much anything. Aluminum, steel, rubber, plastics, we've used it on all kinds of parts and equipment around the shop already. It was designed to meet demanding standards in the aerospace and marine industries, so it had to be formulated to perform in environments where safety, material compatibility, and effectiveness matter. So whether you're cleaning up an engine like this, cleaning up the house, the interior of your shop truck, or just random shop stuff, it actually works without being worried about damaging what you're working on. And another thing that I like, you can buy Release Ultra Concentrate and dilute it up to 20-1. So one bottle goes a very long way for a great price. I even ran a comparison on a pair of grimy rocker arms in a cheap offshore ultrasonic tank. One on the left with straight water and another with Release. I think you can see how useful it can be for your DIY projects. And that's where I think this really makes the most sense. Because yeah, we've got industrial equipment here, but for you guys working out of a garage at home, this gives you that kind of cleaning power without needing all of that extra stuff and the risk that comes with it. You can buy it off of Amazon or on their website, so if you want to check it out, I've got links down in the description, and if you grab it from their website, you can use code JimsAuto10 to save 10%. Now let's get back to day 2 on the dyno and see what we're working with.
So today we put a different fitting down here where we had that pretty aggressive oil leak.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that's fixed. We also put the Phytech fuel injection on just because we want something a little more good.
Not saying that carburetor that was on it is a bad carburetor, but it did have some pieces missing off of it. And that motor kind of felt like it had a flat spot in it there when you revved it up.
So we'll have to get it started up, warmed up, and then adjust a little bit on the Phytech, but then we should be able to do some pulls and then take it into the other shop and
kind of make our baseline of what the engine is, and then we're going to tear it down and see what's inside.
see if we are wasting our time.
Yeah, see if we're tearing down a brand new engine or what it is. That is so cool with fuel injection, the way those start.
So we'll just go through and warm it up for a while.
You know, that motor doesn't sound bad.
No.
You're there on temperature.
go into idle control. It's a little noisy on the valve train. So that should be it for the basic setup for the EFI.
What's that?
That should be it for the basic setup for the EFI.
That's a whole lot different than it was with that carburetor.
Yeah, it was very... Ugh.
Yeah.
Look, there's a heron on the dirt pile over there.
King of the mountain. Yeah, it's settling in.
Okay, 40 pounds of oil pressure at idle.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm surprised we don't have just a little bit higher vacuum. There's only about, 12 inches of vacuum?
Yeah, but it doesn't really sound like it has a cam, does it?
It sounds pretty healthy for a stock motor.
Does it?
I'm going to leave it at that.
I guess we'll find out. But it's not lopey.
No, it's not lopey at all, but it just sounds, it sounds too healthy out the exhaust to just be a stock 350 Buick.
That has more horsepower than yesterday. Yeah, it's a significant difference. At 2,000 RPM, 265 pounds of torque compared to 224.
Okay.
So 40 pounds different on the torque. So 86 horsepower yesterday, 101 horsepower today. And across the board, it's quite a bit higher. And we peaked today 220 at 4,500 compared to 209 at 4,500. Did we ever figure out what this is rated at?
Just what I found on Google there. For whatever reason, out of all those motor manuals I've got, I'm missing 1972.
Kind of depends where you look. Let's see what ChatGPT says. You're looking at early smog era net rated numbers, so they're a lot lower on paper than late 1960s and 1970 versions. Factory rating 1972 would be a hard 75 to a hard 80 horsepower at 38 to 4,000 RPM. Torque 275 pound-feet at 2,400. 1972 is the first year GM switched to SAE net ratings, which include accessories, exhaust, air cleaner, etc., etc. So that's why if you look at numbers for a 71, like in your book, it's higher than what these numbers read. We're reading higher than those numbers for sure. I don't know. Let's just do like 2 more runs and call it good.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if it's consistent.
It might get better over a couple runs with the EFI
as it
learning.
learns.
Run 2. Yeah, we went up a little bit. 224. One more?
Sure.
It's too much fun.
I don't know if Nicholas is recording this or not, but that does not sound like any stock 350 Buick I ever heard.
What?
I was telling the camera that does not sound like any stock 350 Buick I ever heard.
Yeah? I don't know.
I'll bet that has a little bit of a cam in it.
We shall find out. Found the rev limiter.
test that motor.
I forgot to change the switch. Now we should be good. Whoops. It's pretty consistent. So how do we want to do this here? What do we want to...
Well, I think what we need to do is just leave the water pump running, and we'll
Open those valves.
open the valves so it can start cooling the engine down.
Turn the fuel pump
Yeah.
and stuff off. So we want to tear this down right away, but obviously
It's too hot,
pretty dang hot.
really hot. Like not overheated hot, but
No, but-
operating temperature.
Hotter than we want to be in there with our bare hands. So what we're gonna do is leave the water pump run. Don't open that one, or do you open that one? No, just leave that one closed, but open this one. This will force the pump will force
Okay.
cold water in. It'll run through, and anything extra will overflow
Okay.
out of this. I think,
Yeah, 'cause this is
because if you open that one, it's just gonna drain all the
drain.
water out. And it's not as hot out today as it was yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever we were running it. Our water here is like lukewarm.
It's coming down pretty fast.
Okay.
We're already down below 150. What does it say the engine is?
145. Yeah, 140. So we'll let this cool off for a while. We'll get it in the other shop and we'll pick up there.
Yeah.
Give us your prediction that you told me when we were over in the other shop off camera.
Okay, we'll start out here. I took spark plugs out of it, and they all are burning kind of a nice chocolate brown. I'm pleased with the way they look. We pulled the filter off. We're going to go over and cut that apart here shortly, see what's inside. But my prediction of what we're going to find when we open this motor up is these heads have been off the motor at some point in time, but I don't think they were off recently, because I think they appear to have an aftermarket head gasket in there.
Okay.
Intake has been off. Timing cover has been off, because they've got those two items painted black, and the rest of the motor was all painted nice red here.
Great.
I'm kind of suspecting that maybe we'll find that they put a short block in it at some point in time, but I don't think that was recently because oil was too black.
Okay.
Usually when you have a nice new motor, at least for the first few oil changes, the oil will stay relatively clean looking, and this oil was nasty. Well, you can see it here, nasty black
Yeah.
oil. So I don't think it's a completely fresh motor. There's an extra plate in here. That's the high volume oil pump kit that's been put in there. So was that something they did just because when they were there, or did it have an oil pressure problem so they put a high volume pump in it? But what I really suspect we're going to find is something other than a stock camshaft.
Okay.
I think that's why this front end has been apart, why the timing covers painted different colors. They had that off and had the intake off, and recently put a camshaft in it.
Okay.
Because when we had that running, it sounded a little too healthy for stock cam.
Okay.
There we go. Well, why don't you take that over in the light and look a little bit better, but I don't see any glitter, I don't believe.
Maybe just a tiny bit, but not anything abnormal, I don't think.
Wow.
What's it feel like? Dirt?
I want you to take your finger.
Whoa.
It really does. Feels just like sand. What have they got in that thing? That's the inside.
Let's take it over in the light.
There is some sparkle. But it is literally like dirt.
Yeah.
It feels just like real fine sand. What is that?
I don't know.
Well, let's get inside and see. Look at there. Either that was not cleaned or it's been quite a while since that was apart. Inside the valve cover looks nice and clean, but this rocker shaft has a lot of miles on it. What I suspected is true. Look at those valve springs.
Yeah.
Those are big fat valve springs. That is not any way, shape, or form stock valve
That's what I was
springs.
wondering. Okay.
All right, what do we got going on here?
Because who likes matching rocker arms?
Yeah, why would you match those up? So, I'm going to have to look this up, but I think 1972 and older used this style of rocker arm,
Okay.
and I think 73 and newer used this style. But I thought there was a difference in the way they oiled. I thought one oiled through the push rods and one through a passage up through the head.
Through the head.
Yeah. But this is a side that had valve train noise. Some of them, I don't think, I think we got some, the hydraulic lifter is not pumped up all the way. We've got some excess lash there on a couple. See, this style does not have left and right rockers, but these are lefts and rights.
Huh.
You know, we might not run this as hard as we did on the dyno if we'd have known this ahead of time.
Maybe I would have run it harder. It's got aftermarket springs. God, those are weird with that little plastic centering cap thing.
And actually, they seem to work okay. The biggest problem I've ever seen with them is if the engine's been overheated, they'll melt.
Nice.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of the. Well, in fact, look at this one here. These in the center look a little hotter than those.
Yeah.
Crusted up a little bit. So what else we're going to find in this mystery motor? Now, there's no thermostat in here. I took the thermostat out before we ran this on a dyno, so don't be alarmed when you don't see that. One. Okay, gonna find any mouse nests?
Hope not.
That's heavy.
Oh, I forgot there's a valley pin thing.
That has big,
Ports.
tall ports, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now what do you see?
See an engine.
The cam appears to be okay, wouldn't you say?
I think so.
But there's definitely too much valve lash on that side.
Yeah.
So maybe this is looking like somebody just stuffed a cam in an old worn out motor.
Maybe.
Was this the one that had so much lash?
I think it was this one.
This one?
Yeah.
Because that one's...
Yeah, that one actually has more wear on it. Quite a bit of wear.
Yeah. Well, we have push rod oiling on both sides. I mean, hollow push rods on both sides.
Right.
So
And nothing, does not look like there's any provision up through the rocker towers here to
No.
oil. So I may not know at all what I'm talking about on that. It's been a long time since I did many Buicks. There, it's out.
I must have never torn one down that had been run recently enough
Well,
to
I was
have the
gonna
push
say,
rods have oil in them.
Usually the push rods don't have anywhere near that much oil left in them. If this thing did not have so much dirt in it, I would say let's try to keep the lifters in order with the possible chance of reusing this cam and lifters.
Okay.
But there is so much dirt in this motor, we don't want to do that. Well, that first one I'm looking at there, I can still see a little bit of the machining on the bottom from when that was new. Actually looks probably pretty okay. Not perfect, but they're not wiped out. Did we ever mention how many miles this motor had on it?
No.
The day I went back to get the starter, I took a picture of the speedometer,
Okay. Odometer.
speedometer and odometer. Let me see what it said.
Stuff growing on the oil pump.
Huh.
Or oil pump. Water pump.
Water pump. Yeah, you're gonna hear about that one. 45,438. So most likely 145,438 would be a likely scenario, because cars back in these days, highly unlikely you went past the 200,000 mile mark. It wasn't like they are now.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what it is, and now that we have the intake off, I don't think anybody's touched the short block. Wow. Oh, got a bolt in there, yeah. Helps you take all the bolts out. Oh, I was on that dipstick.
Well, nothing exciting there.
No. But I do, look how washed it is around the outside of the piston there.
Yeah.
It's an oil burner. See where it's starting to wash here a little bit?
Yeah.
Not a lot of ridge. You can see where they sanded the deck of the block when they cleaned the gasket off the last time. And I'm pretty sure these would have had shim gaskets from the factory. Wow, look at all that garbage.
Gross.
Yeah, that's a lot of buildup. But it's not gritty like what we, well, that one might be.
See, and that would make it seem like quite a while since the heads
Since the
were
heads
off.
were off. I see what looks to be a pretty nice 145,000 mile motor. In fact, this first cylinder here, if you look close, there's a little bit of crosshatch
Down in.
down in that, yeah. Very little wear at the top.
But no indication these are oversized pistons or
No.
anything.
I mean, we could measure it real quick and see, but I think this is standard bore yet.
Maybe they re-runged it.
That could be. I'm going to guess these are Victor head gaskets from the looks of them, but I don't see a number on them.
What's your vector, Victor?
What's your Vector, Victor?
Victocore.
Victocord. Huh.
Victocore.
Because I just assumed it would have a
Shim.
shim gasket, but I could be wrong.
Victocore head gaskets. Tough stuff that does the job. For starters, Victor gaskets have a super resiliency that allows them to completely seal heads regardless of RPM or compression load. This engineered sealability makes Victor the ongoing gaskets for high compression race engines. There's no distortion or leakage, just go. Victor makes sealing the new Chevy aluminum heads a snap, no more over torquing. Specially engineered gasket material moves with the mating surfaces, giving you a leak-proof seal. Naturally, Victor has gaskets for every popular car model, make and model. You'd expect them to, and most automotive parts stores stock Victor. You'd expect that too, but for some reason the one near you doesn't. Write Dyno Corporation in Toledo, Ohio, and we'll see to it that you get what you need.
Well, those are aftermarket gaskets on here then.
Yep.
And we knew the heads had been off because we could see the sand marks here. Boy, look at that. How nasty that oil just looks brown, dirty.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to clean the burrs off the top end of that gear before we pull that out.
Okay. Something holding it in on the bottom.
Sludge. There.
Huh. So it's got
Two little, what do they call that? Where they swedged out just a little bit.
That's, yeah.
Put that in a can to bake.
Would this have had a rubber front seal originally?
This would have had rope seal.
It don't.
Does it have the rubber one in it?
Yeah, it has the aftermarket, it looks like. Oil pan.
That oil looks chocolatey.
About 5:30 this morning, Ada woke up. Chocolate milk! My chocolate milk! Have you heard her say chocolate? She emphasized chocolate! My chocolate milk!
That's funny. Okay, what do we got in there?
Some sludge, about what you expect on.
Yeah, what I would expect on a engine this old.
Does it feel gritty? The way that
Yes. I wonder if they had the intake off for a long time and it got full of dirt.
you can actually see grains of.
Yeah, you can see grains of grit in it. Okay, this is our first look at the bottom.
What do you think the bearings will look like?
I think the bearings are going to look terrible. I think the bearings are going to scare us that we were running it on the dyno like that.
Maybe.
I don't know, maybe you've peeked, I haven't yet. Is this going to have rods with bolts and nuts or cap screws?
I don't know.
I think what I read, it's going to have bolts and nuts. I think the next year they went to cap screws. What do we got?
Bolts and nuts.
Okay. Look at the stuff in their pickup
Pickup.
screen. What is all that?
A little bit of paint.
A little bit of fuzz. Some hair.
Ew. Rods are not numbered.
Well, I'm going to say that's pretty good indication this has never been apart then. I mean, I think the pan has been off and the gasket changed, but I don't think the pistons and rods have been out of it.
There we go. So what he was talking about, you want to file if there's any burrs where the distributor mates with the oil pump shaft there, rather than forcing it down through and damaging the bore that the shaft rides in the timing cover. We'll file that down to take off those sharp edges so they'll come down through freely. Is that a aftermarket timing chain? SA?
S8 gear would be, yeah.
Well, I didn't. It says SA on the chain, and that looks like their numbers.
Yeah.
S-232 something. And
Yeah, that's just like the first one we had for the V6. Has a new timing chain in it. while they had it apart, that's when they spray painted everything, painted all over inside the motor there.
So that would also point to possibly a cam.
Yeah. It doesn't want to come off. Oh. Huh? You leave that inside?
I did.
Yeah. We're just going to take this all out as one piece because that distributor drive gear and the fuel pump eccentric do not want to come off.
How can I help?
By taking this. Why don't you throw that in the can of stuff we're going to wash?
Kind of tight going through the bearings.
Yeah, it is. Now it's coming off.
Where do you do this?
Put it in parts we just wash, and it looks real good. It's not worn through or anything. But that cam would probably be usable.
I see numbers on the back.
You do. I'm going to say that's is that 92 or 72 on the first 203-4 cc top cam.
Huh. So the cam is revealed.
Yes. That's why that engine sounded like it did.
So do you feel bad that we're dissecting some poor guy's hopes and dreams? His project car that never
Well, it's,
went to all this trouble to put those springs on and the cam and
and the car itself, all that high dollar exhaust and wheels, and I don't know what all had been done before we got there. Serious? How bad?
a little scratchy. Not
as bad as I thought it might be. That was a lot of trash in that oil.
other one stuck.
Original bearing.
Yeah.
Look at that. Pretty much just normal wear. Oil ring still has some life in it.
Huh. Are you putting rods and caps somewhere?
Throw them in that can right there. Yeah, look at that bearing.
Yeah, that one's good.
Wipe that one off. You know, that oil filter, despite what was inside it,
Must have been doing a good
it
job.
was doing a good job, yeah. There's a little bit of scuffing on that skirt.
This piston. Now I'm really gonna get the comments. It's a little worn there, I think, but it's not like
It's not full
scratched or anything.
Yeah, it's not full of grit.
A little scratchy.
Got it? This one looks real nice. Oil ring is just, watch it.
That could have hurt your
Say
toe.
The expander in there is just starting to touch the cylinder wall.
That's what I was looking at. The one I just looked at, there was a little bit of shiny on it,
Yeah.
but not all the way. Or
Bearing looks all but perfect.
yeah, I think this one, like the oil ring is, the expander is kind of shiny.
Starting. Just pretty much they got their life out of it.
Did you find all the rod nuts?
Here's one of them. And did you hear that little, just that little bit there? If that was a crank that we were not going to grind, that right there would be enough to damage the surface.
So what do you think? Are you feeling bad that we tore down a perfectly fine running motor?
No, no. This was a good time. As it turns out, I think this was a good time in this motor's life to have torn it down, because had this run much longer, the amount of wear would have increased significantly. It would have been using oil.
Sounds like something a guy that owns an automotive machine shop would say.
No, really, this is a good time, because I'm actually saving the money, saving the customer money at this point.
Oh.
Because if he run it longer and took out some of those bearings, he might be looking at, he or she, looking at a new crankshaft or a hole out through the side of the block.
Look how dry that is.
That's something.
That's crazy.
Never ever got any oil up around those.
Where'd the main bearing go?
Oh, it popped out down there somewhere.
Here it is. Ooh,
Yeah,
that one's scratchy.
yeah, that's kind of more what I was expecting to see.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. That,
Look at this guy. This cap is even hot.
that one just about tied up at some point in time. We're gonna definitely need to check the line bore on this block.
The burnt oil, how hot that cap was getting. And there's what the bearing looks like.
Some of that may be just kind of normal. This one shows some of that too, but I think that one's been warmer. All appears original.
Yeah, that's pretty ugly.
Let me see that again.
Look, even like peeling a little bit down past
Yeah, it was. I wonder how recently that happened.
about 2 hours ago on the Dyno.
And we should have a rope seal on this end. Does it?
Yep.
Yes.
Rope seal. That bearing looks fine.
Huh.
Not fine. Well,
Well,
pretty fine.
yeah, pretty fine for 140,000 miles.
Yeah. Rope seal. Rope side pieces or whatever. Or what are they, asbestos?
That's probably asbestos. No, you got to snort it.
Oh.
Rust is good on the crank. You know that run you did on the dyno with the fuel injection? Mm-hmm. That may be the most power this engine ever made.
It might be.
Yeah, it could very well be.
It is pretty remarkable what a significant jump it showed
Yeah.
on the first run. Just
For it.
5
And-
minutes
and
of tuning it, and
And we didn't even run it long enough for it to really self-tune. Okay, you ready to lift that out?
yeah.
Let
I don't know
me-
if I'm man enough. That's pretty heavy looking.
Yeah, you're kind of wimpy. Let me roll it your way so a little wimp like you doesn't have to lift it quite as high.
Okay.
I'd take it out myself, but I wouldn't want to show off in front of you.
Okay, gotcha. I got nowhere to go.
Wow.
That one is.
The crush has gone out of it too. It's just loose in there.
That was close to a.
Yeah. Or I guess you call it the bearing spread is what holds it from coming up either. But I think it's.
And they are factory bearings.
They are factory bearings.
Which is good news.
Yeah.
But wow.
I'm glad you didn't do one more run.
Yeah. Actually, though, how long does it take from this point to spinning?
Uh-oh.
Come on, dude.
Where's the magnet?
You know, there's really no way to tell, but we were discussing whether or not that looks fresh.
Yeah. Is that?
I don't know. Do people, maybe somebody else has experience?
How,
'Cause
how
it's
do we?
just-
How do we tell how long that's been like that?
Like, did we do that on our, what did we do? A total of like 5 runs on the dyno?
5 runs on the dyno. Was that just more than the motor could take? Was that already there? And Ian, if we did do that on the dyno, the runs we did there were no different than what you'd have had if you'd have put that in your car and
Oh, yeah.
hopped over into the passing lane to go around some slow traffic.
Right. Except for the rev bomb.
Yeah, but even at that, it didn't over rev the engine because
Because the rev limiter.
of the rev limiter. Yeah, I'd have hated to have totally blown the engine up on the dyno, but I'd rather have a problem there than after we put it in somebody's car.
Yeah.
See, you didn't even film that one, and that one came out the way I wanted it to. My plan was to just tip it and then pop it out.
They have real like thin little grease plugs, it seems like. Like the
See-
bore in the block is super thin.
Yeah.
That's a pretty thin
Pretty
block.
thin casting. Okay, take a look at the first cam bearing. Tell me what you see. Nothing?
Nothing remarkable. Just looks like a worn out cam bearing.
For as hard as that cam came out,
There's not really like much wear on them.
no.
Where did all that come from?
Was that piled up behind the camshaft? Behind the edit and the freeze plug in the back of the block there?
Might have been. Pretty nasty.
So now we need to get the 2 galley plugs out of the back and the 2 out of the front. This is ready to go in the oven.
The front and back cylinders here, they like, come look at this. They like have this little bar cast there
Oh yeah,
to support the
like
bottom
down
of the
on that
cylinder.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it doesn't, it's not all the way down. It's
just
it's
like a
literally just a pencil.
Yeah. They have them big, thick keepers.
Umbrella seals.
Wonder what that's all about.
Why?
Because this probably did not have any seals on the exhaust. And would have had positive seals on the intake. Yeah, whoever did that didn't know what they were doing. But yeah, there's not even room for that seal in there. Because by the time the retainer goes on there, you've got something that looks like that, and that seal is down against the head. So there's what you've got for room in there.
For valve lift.
Yeah, and then when the valve opens, see, it actually starts crushing the seal in there. Gets right there and it bottoms out, and then anything beyond that It's crushing it.
Are you sure it's not acting as a special valve train dampener?
Well, an extra spring for higher
Yeah.
RPM.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, I would guess whoever put that cam in, that was done in somebody's backyard. These are actually big block Chevrolet seals. Actually, the way these are, where it crushes them down in there, these would have been all torn up if they'd have run any length of time.
Huh.
I want to do the wiggle test here. Guides are not wiped out. In fact, they're pretty good shape for that amount of miles.
Are they OEM valves?
No, that exhaust has been replaced. 2023 part number on it. Now the intake, it's an original GM valve. They were probably just reground at some point in time.
So say that again, quite a bit's been ground off the tip.
Yeah, compare those two valves there. The evidently they probably ground the exhaust seat in kind of deep, so they ground extra off the tip of the valve to keep the stem height correct.
Huh. Why would our lash have been excessive?
We need to look in the book, but I think the different style rockers may use different length push rods.
Maybe they didn't put the right push rods on that side.
I'm thinking one side or the other did not have the right push rods to go with the rest of the valve train. And I'm still curious about what years, or if they did use valve train that oiled through the rocker shaft rather than through the push rods.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of questions to get answered here. Stuff that I probably knew at one point in time, and it's been so long since I worked on Buick, I just don't remember all that stuff anymore. Yeah, if they was going to use umbrella seals on this, there's a lot of seals they could have used instead of these, because these are just flat too tall. Well, I'm getting kind of excited about building this.
About what?
Building this, yeah.
Why?
I just think it'd be fun. I've never built a performance Buick before.
So what's it look like? Maybe a valve grind, or ground the seats somewhere along the way, but
yeah,
they don't look like they've been cut, do they?
No, they haven't been. Whoever did this did a nice job on it, but I think that's what has happened, is they probably did a valve job on it. These old motors like this, it wasn't uncommon to burn valves in them, much more than what we see today on engines. So I'm guessing somebody went through these heads, put all new exhaust valves in them, probably touched up the seats a little bit.
Yeah, the exhaust seats are a little pitted, but the intake don't look too bad.
Nothing's been done to the guides. I think we want to maybe look at putting some different valves in, go back to a normal keeper instead of these, I don't know what they call this style, these big thick wedges that Buick used in the early years. Probably put new guides in it, hard exhaust seats. We'll see what the intakes look like. Surface the heads. I was reading somewhere that said they have pretty good ports, but they could stand to be touched up a little bit.
So we've got all of it in the oven ready to bake, get all that grease and oil off of it. That was kind of fun running one that we know nothing about beforehand. And the only question we really had when we were running it was the valve train noise. And that amounts to, we think, 2 different rocker arm styles and maybe not the right push rods to go with them.
Yeah, I'm thinking not the right push rods, and or one side the right rockers, one side the wrong rockers.
And it did have an aftermarket cam, but other than that, everything in here appears to be stock.
Yeah, from 1972.
1972. So I guess we need to see what people want to do.
Well, that's it.
We're kind of giving them free rein to tell us what to do with it. Do we go crazy with it and spend all the money there is, or?
And we want you to be realistic.
Yeah, we're not going to make custom this, that, and the other.
No, it has to be realistic.
Or we could just build it stock, but I think we could. It looks like we could pretty easily do a nice set of heads here. I mean, there are aluminum heads out there, but they're expensive. Could maybe beef up. We could grind the crank and get the beefier connecting rods if we wanted to. Again, it's everything in this is expensive because it's a less commonly built engine. But I don't know. And then there is a company out there that claims to make roller cams for them. So we could look into that a little bit more and maybe have a custom ground roller camshaft for it.
Personally, if this was mine, I would like to just do it and bump the compression, get some pistons, bump the compression up there to about 10 to 1, and do some nice head work on it. Maybe come up with an aluminum intake manifold. Camshaft, I'm not opposed to just using a flat tappet hydraulic, but if you can find a roller, that would certainly be a better way to go these days.
No, we could definitely do a flat tappet. I just would rather do a roller.
Yeah. So viewers out here need to tell us what to do.
Clean up your oil.
Where'd that come from?
I don't. From you when you carried the oil pan over, you dripped all over the
made a
dang
mess
floor.
all over the place.
So let us know what you think. Drop your comments. Share this video with a friend so that we actually make some money on the video so that we can actually afford to do this.
Yeah, we got to make some money on the video or it's not going to go anywhere.
And actually, for that, with that in mind, if you know somebody who might want this engine, or if you might want this engine, reach out to us.
Yeah,
It's not going to be a freebie. You're going to have.
Yeah, you got to have
gotta
some of the
open your
green
checkbook
stuff to pay for it. But if somebody would like to have a nice little 350 Buick engine, we would certainly.
We will give you a hell of a deal on labor.
Yeah.
But the parts you got to pay for.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay for the parts. We'll give you a heck of a deal on labor, and you can, if you decide you want this, and put some money down on it, you can have some say in what parts go into it.
So
So
stay tuned.
see what happens. Like, follow, subscribe, buy a T-shirt.